Multiple felon condor calabasas here. I got some cringe for you today. Have you heard? PlayStation is getting Xbox's #1 exclusive. Their flagship exclusive. The best exclusive Xbox game ever made. I know what you're thinking. Condor, that could only mean one game. PlayStation is getting Starfield. Oh, no, my friends. PlayStation is getting Halo 1 remastered. A game from 24 years ago. That's what all these YouTubers and articles are writing about. Where is it? Alright, actually, can I turn this down? Oh my god. I wanted to turn that down more and it went way up. It's getting like, it gets way too serious at that second half. Anyways, as somebody who like literally got my ass kicked by my dad growing up, there is nothing on this planet that makes me cringe more, gives me more secondhand embarrassment, and gives off a greater sense of privilege than the insecure gaming journalist. Thankfully, the good news is Gamespot's worst crime is like a lot of gaming journalists and YouTubers. They have this like weird kind of like eggshell. Everybody's like on eggshells and like afraid to criticize PlayStation in any way whatsoever. Like, you cannot crack any jokes about PlayStation. You can't make fun of, how bad the PlayStation 5 Pro is and how it's like running worse than PS5 is. You can't crack any jokes like that. You can't point that out. You can't even bring it up without like causing people to like lose their mind. So a lot of gaming journalists don't do that, and GameSpot is obviously one of them. One of the funnier examples of this like weird kind of bias that's always been around in the gaming industry for like a really long time is since like PlayStation 2, there's always been like this rumor that there's this secret power that's in the PlayStation 2 or in the PlayStation 3 or the PlayStation 4 that's just it's waiting to be unlocked. It's the secret power rumor, and it's to like anybody who understands like a shred about gaming technology, that it's like one of the dumbest. That's like the download more RAM kind of mentality that people have, or rumor, whatever. I don't know. You can't do that. It doesn't work. It doesn't exist. It doesn't even make sense. Like PlayStation would want people, game developers, to use that secret power, and game developers themselves would obviously want to use that secret power. So, despite how ridiculous an incredibly stupid ass rumor like that is, it still actually gets a lot of traction in the industry, because the industry is filled with a bunch of PlayStation fanboys, and same with YouTubers. You get the exact opposite shit when it comes to Xbox rumors, which is like it's goddamn embarrassing. Like recently there was this rumor about Xbox and how the next gen console or whatever is going to be. It was up in the air. They said up in the air, and to anyone with like a shred of social intelligence who isn't a total sheltered fucking loser and would anyone like that would be well aware of the fact that up in the air doesn't mean anything. Is that, especially when you're talking about a rumor, like that's such a vague thing to say. It's such a generalized statement. You can't really draw any conclusions there. And even if it was like Phil Spencer himself saying up in the air about the next Xbox console, we still would have no idea what in the name of God he means by that. Up in the air for a little while, up in the air for an hour? Was it like a day where you were like, oh, I don't know, we should do this? Was there some kind of deal that would maybe was about like there's so many, it doesn't answer anything. And I have to just be real here. If you took the up in the air rumor seriously, you're an idiot. If you're a journalist and you took it seriously, you don't deserve to have your fucking job, okay? You deserve to be unemployed, okay? Find something else, somewhere else, because you should be fucking embarrassed if you believe something that fucking stupid. fucking even running with something like that. It's like, why would I even give a shit? That doesn't say anything, you fucking morons. Anyways, another example, one more example before I move on. I apologize for going on this wicked long rant. I'm trying to make a point here. Is there's a rumor that's basically confirmed to be, it's basically unconfirmed fact at this point, that the gap in power between the PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox is going to be the biggest gap in power that there's ever been between the two consoles. Xbox is going to be way more powerful than the PlayStation 6. This is according to Digital Foundry, which are about as reliable as sources get when it comes to gaming news and facts and business. So if this PlayStation fanboy bias that I'm talking about didn't actually exist, this rumor would be mentioned constantly, all the time. People would be always talking about it, especially considering it's basically considered fact. It's assumed to be true. Unlike, the stupid ass up in the air shit, which is about most floppy, wavy, non-concrete bullshit. Anyways, let's get into the cringe here. All right, we got to go back to this article real quick, just to be. People will always, love to call me bullshit, but literally they're saying, and I'm quote here, Halo is finally coming to PS5. All right.
Halo is officially coming to PlayStation.
All right. Despite this obvious attempt at clickbait and obvious fucking lie, Halo is not coming to PlayStation. Specific Halo 1 remaster that does not include multiplayer is coming to PlayStation. I am a huge Halo 1 fanboy, so I can say, objectively speaking, without a shadow of a doubt, no one calls Halo 1 Halo. No one does it. No one since the release of Halo 2, a game that released in 2004, has referred to Halo 1 as Halo. That's how long it's been. That's like, I'm not even going to do the math because I'm going to look really stupid, and it's bad. It's a bad idea to do math on the fly. You're just going to make yourself look dumb. Don't ever do it. Strongly recommend. And like, this isn't even just like a Halo 1 thing. No one calls The Last of Us 1 The Last of Us. When you speak this way, people assume you're talking about the entire franchise. Anyone with like a shred of social intelligence is gonna know this. It is not possible for a gaming journalist to be somehow unaware of something like this that has been common knowledge since 2004. The only reason she would word it this way is to make people think it's the entire franchise. She's clickbaiting people. It's the same thing with this article over here. It's just an attempt to clickbait people, and it is pathetic. How can you say something like this and have self-respect at the same time? Like, do these people not realize how childish and stupid they look? Why you're lying about video games to make a company you like look good? I literally cannot imagine being that cringy of a fucking loser. Why are you, an adult, both these idiots, why are both these fucking, oh, let's get it, there, no, there we go. Why are both these idiots, adults, lying about video games? That's like some of the most embarrassing shit I've come across in my entire fucking life, dude.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
So, are the console wars really over?
Alright. Fucking Christ. Alright, let's break down this argument. So, they are claiming that because Halo 1 Remaster that doesn't include multiplayer is coming to PlayStation 5, this means that the console wars are over and PlayStation has won by getting a remaster of a 24-year-old game, one game out of an entire franchise. By this exact same logic, that would mean PlayStation hasn't just lost the console war, but they lost it twice over when the entire Grand Theft Auto and the entire Metal Gear Solid franchise landed on Xbox. This isn't... We're not talking about like a remaster of the oldest game moving over to Xbox. This is entire franchises moving over to Xbox. The best franchises literally in the entire gaming industry Grand Theft Auto, a PlayStation exclusive, is on Xbox. Day one, same day. This is their own logic. This is why I fucking hate cringe lords. There's not one shred of self-awareness among these two idiots. No attempt whatsoever to double-check their argument to see if it would hold up to any scrutiny whatsoever. Nothing like that. A journalist cannot form a grade school level argument. This is the state of gaming journalism. This shit is pathetic. You have this like huge chunk of the professional side of this industry that just cannot help themselves but lie about Xbox to protect a company they aren't getting paid to protect. They talk about how important these exclusives going multi-platform is, but don't mention the most popular franchise in the world, Grand Theft Auto. So anyone who knows that Grand Theft Auto used to be a PlayStation exclusive is going to think that they're an idiot. They are literally describing why me and so many other people like me won't buy PlayStation anymore. Xbox got the entire Grand Theft Auto franchise same day as PlayStation. PlayStation gets a 24-year-old game remastered the same day as Xbox. Yet somehow these people see this as a win. The logic or lack of it is baffling.
You know, it's like they need to launch franchises on consoles if they want to improve their profits.
He's talking about Xbox, but of course he's perfectly describing PlayStation infinitely better than he's describing Xbox, because Xbox gets Grand Theft Auto, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy. Despite all of this, I just don't get how this moron could be so stupid that he could lack this much self-awareness and have no idea what he's talking about. Using this exact same logic, this is definitely a Sony strategy, not an Xbox strategy. They've been doing this since long before Xbox has been doing this. Since 2003 with the Grand Theft Auto double pack that arrived on Xbox. Why would anyone with self-esteem want to buy PlayStation products when you see these cringy loser gaming journalists will either twist the truth, take things out of context, or outright lie to defend a company? I don't get it. Like, it is the most off-putting thing I've ever seen for a company or a product ever. I've never seen this level, like, this is like when people who like sports, like, fight each other. Except at least they're drunk and there's an excuse for that kind of, like, mental illness. These people are sober and they're saying this kind of cringy-ass garbage. Not only is this embarrassing just from the perspective of somebody with self-esteem, but as a customer, you simply cannot trust this industry to either score PlayStation or Xbox games fairly. And that is pathetic. People actually refer to it. It's called the Xbox tax.
I always thought that Halo would be the very last one, though.
See, that's funny to me because I thought Grand Theft Auto, that reminded me so much of Grand Theft Auto, I thought for sure. I remember going to my friend's house place, and he had a Grand Theft Auto 3 in Vice City, and like especially Vice City, I would go over there all the time and play Vice City, and I always used to think like, man, this is like PlayStation. Like Grand Theft Auto Vice City is PlayStation. I thought for sure Grand Theft Auto will be the last game. Like that'll be the last thing that ever comes to Xbox. We'll get Final Fantasy before we get that. We'll get fucking Kingdom Hearts, which I goddamn despise, before we get Grand Theft Auto. And you know, obvious, I don't even need to comment on that. And then when that happened, I thought for sure the exact same thing. Metal Gear Solid, there's no way we'll ever get Metal Gear Solid. There's no way we'll ever be on Xbox. And again, Sony gave up both their flagship franchises. So, like, it's weird to hear this kind of, I would just chalk it up to a difference of opinion, but since it's so steeped in like missing facts and like taking things out of context and just like delusion, like it's baffling to see such like a mentally ill person who cares so much about video games. Like it's so fucking embarrassing. Like, goddamn, fuck these losers.
Way, the console wars are over.
Yep.
Now more than ever.
So let's talk about the other two.
again, if Grand Theft Auto and Metal Gear Solid didn't exist, like there may be a world in which you could make that argument and not come off like some cringy PlayStation fanboy loser. But that is one of the dumbest and most deluded fanboy loser takes I've seen in my entire life. How much of a pathetic fanboy loser do you have to be to equate a remaster of one game to, say, the entire Grand Theft Auto franchise? Halo 1 remaster versus Grand Theft Auto. To me, I love Halo 1. Ask any of my friends, I'm a huge I'm actually a fan of both, but I'll take Grand Theft Auto franchise any day. Hell, you give me Halo 1 Halo entire franchise versus Grand Theft Auto, I'm still picking Grand Theft Auto. I think most people would be the same way, and I love Halo. So, this weird ass, like, mental gymnastics, it's insane to me. Like, how do you talk like these people and not feel embarrassed? Do they have no self-respect? It's a company, not their family. This is cringe. This PlayStation 5 remaster announcement for the Halo 1 or whatever is the first time since Halo 2's release, since before Halo 2's release, that people have actually acted like Halo 1 is Xbox's flagship title. The way they're talking about it, like Halo 1 is just like the biggest deal ever, is like baffling to me, and I literally haven't seen it since around 2004 is the last time I saw people care this much about Halo 1. There is literally no one, except for PlayStation fanboys, who are obsessing more about this. For example, it's commonly known that on the Master Chief Collection, finding games of Halo 1 online is the hardest. It's literally the least popular Halo game in the Master Chief Collection. That means it's less popular than Halo 4, a game I had to be as stoned as I could possibly get myself in order to actually complete, because that was one of the worst games I've ever played. Halo 4. That was complete and utter trash, and people are more likely to play that one online than they are Halo 1. That's crazy. That paints a real good picture about how fucking unhinged these losers are for like getting super excited over Halo 1. Anyway, so basically my point is no one cares about Halo 1 as much as these people, which is fucking unhinged, my friends.
So PlayStation has a couple of games, like MLB has been on Xbox. However, their core franchises they have kept to their system, and then we'll port it to PC maybe a year later. Because PC at that point is just...
What? It's super interesting to me how like they act like Halo 1 is Xbox's flagship title, a game that has been Xbox flagship title since Halo 2 released in like 2004. Yet PlayStation exclusives and flagship titles that were exclusive at the same time as Halo 1 are somehow so far in the past that they've just forgotten about them completely. They just don't even exist anymore. What's that? Metal Gear Solid used to be exclusive to play. I don't even... What even is Metal Gear Solid 1? I don't even know. I'm a gaming journalist. I have no idea. Stupid fucking morons. The bias and lack of self-awareness is so obvious, it makes me embarrassed for these idiots. Wait, no, wrong one. Alright, so yeah, Grand Theft Auto 4, release on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, same day, April 2008, or at least probably the same day. I don't see why it wouldn't be the same day. It'd probably be mentioned if it wasn't the same day. Anyways, so we're talking the most popular franchise in the world that was once on PlayStation is on Xbox the same day as PlayStation, Grand Theft Auto 4. A gaming journalist, so obsessed with the company, they'll pretend or forget Grand Theft Auto was ever a PlayStation exclusive. This is where this idiot tries to mention PlayStation games that have moved to Xbox, and despite being a gaming journalist, he only manages to mention 3.
So they have MLB The Show. I actually looked and I could only find 3. I'm sure there's more, but I'm missing them. And one of those games isn't even out yet. So MLB The Show is a series that frequently appears on there. Helldivers 2 came out recently. And the other one is Marathon, which isn't...
Like, weird that you wouldn't mention anything like that people would actually fucking care about, or like Yakuza, Grand Theft Auto, Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, Devil May Cry. Like, where are all these titles? Why are you so fucking... There's like, you could make the argument maybe he's just lazy. But it's like, there's too many coincidences here. This person is a fucking loser. Where this isn't just like, oh, whoopsie dipsy, I didn't do the research. No, you're a fucking journalist. Do your fucking job. Fucking grow the fuck up, you pathetic fucking loser. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Christ. Do you know how fucking... It took me about 2 minutes to find exclusives, all the exclusives for all Xbox and PlayStation. It wasn't hard, man. It isn't hard to do any of this gaming journalist research. I don't know why these fucking pussies cry and bitch and act like their job is so fucking hard. And it's not all gaming journalists, but these fucking... Jesus Christ, these losers need to fucking see a therapist and get some self-esteem. This is pathetic. Jesus.
There's not exactly an equivalent exchange happening here.
I love the lack of self-awareness there. Factually, objectively speaking, you could only say this in reference to PlayStation getting a worse deal, yet somehow these people have no self-awareness whatsoever, and this is what happens when you don't have a shred of humility. Like, you have no self-awareness, you don't think about what you say at all. You assume anyone who criticizes you is trying to, like, shit on you or attack you or whatever. This is like textbook deeply insecure loser behavior right here. This is like one of those things that like outs these people as deluded fanboy losers, because suddenly Xbox exclusives are great now. For years and years, Xbox exclusives, there's been this mentality that Xbox exclusives are bad, and suddenly, a 24-year-old remaster of the least popular game in the franchise is suddenly the greatest get in the gaming industry, and single-handedly won Sony the console war. You cannot make up this level of stupidity. You cannot write fictional characters this insecure and pathetic and have people actually believe it. This is a perfect example of truth being stranger than fiction. Why do so many insecure loser gamers care this much about Sony? This guy lists exclusives PlayStation got from Xbox, but couldn't come up with a list for Xbox to cite how easy it was for me to make the list. Again, he only came up with 3. This is obviously showing his bias. I figured I'd make a list of games that were once PlayStation exclusives and are now on Xbox. And I know before I do this, I'm going to get some PlayStation fanboy moron that like somehow published games don't count as exclusive, even though they do, objectively speaking. Regardless, this idiot himself says that includes published games by Microsoft, which you can see right here.
That's published by Microsoft. The Outer Worlds 2,
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
So yeah, he includes games that were published by Microsoft. So yeah. Anyways, so these are franchises that he didn't mention that were PlayStation exclusive. So we got your Grand Theft Auto, that's the entire franchise. We got your Metal Gear Solid, that's the entire franchise. We got your Yakuza, that is the entire franchise. We got your Final Fantasy, that is the entire franchise. We got your Persona, that is the entire franchise. We got Crash Bandicoot, which I believe, I'm not even going to look through. It looks to be the entire franchise. I don't see why it wouldn't be. You got your Devil May Cry. I do not think that is in the... It might be. There might be I think the HD collection, yes, I think it is the entire franchise. And then there's Armored Core, which is just one game, but that was indeed PlayStation exclusive. So there, that was really not at all hard. And though it's weird because he said, you know, the exchange wasn't even or whatever, and I couldn't agree more, man. There is not a equivalent exchange here. PlayStation is getting fucked hard, bro. That is not even close. Metal Gear Solid, Grand Theft Auto versus Halo 1. Which one do you want, dude? Halo 1, you get one remaster, or you get the entire Grand Theft Auto franchise and the Metal Gear Solid. It's really hard. It's a really hard choice. They're basically the same, right? They're basically just as good. Alright, and here's easily the cringiest part of the entire fucking video. Oh my god.
That's the thing, I mean, PlayStation, do you see them also doing?
No.
No.
Oh, what a fucking idiot.
What? 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 Why? 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 Why?
Fucking goddamn moron, dude. PlayStation has done this before Xbox did it with the Grand Theft Auto double pack. That was 2003. PlayStation has done it with more than one franchise. PlayStation gave up each and every one of their flagship titles that represented them as a company. So that's Grand Theft Auto, Metal Gear Solid, and Final Fantasy. All three of those franchises were associated with PlayStation. They were like one in one. They were like mascots. Yet somehow, an employed gaming journalist, when asked if PlayStation does this, they say no with a straight face. All the arguments made by these fanboys highlight exactly what's wrong with PlayStation as a whole and why people like me have no interest in any Sony console. By PlayStation fanboy logic, Sony lost the console war when their exclusive franchise Grand Theft Auto landed on Xbox. We aren't talking about the remaster of the first top-down Grand Theft Auto game that's like the least popular one in the entire franchise, like the Halo 1 remaster is. We're talking about GTA Double Pack, which is an entire franchise at the time. Not one game moved from being PlayStation exclusive to being available on Xbox. Huge difference. So, according to these idiots, October 31st, 2003 is when the console war ended. And that's when, according, again, their logic, Xbox won the console war. And that's it. That's the show for today. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Goddamn fucking embarrassing.